Let's take a
comedy.
clean napkin and see what. Oh!
Oh shit!
Lord, you know what? If I wasn't a nurse, I would be totally grossed out by this.
I mean,
it was the I was
medical
surprised.
people
I
have
was
always
shocked.
been. They're always like, "That's not possible. You can't do that." I'm like, "Watch me stick my arm in this bear trap and not break it. Watch me like eat this fire."
So I
or
have to ask,
swallow
have you
this
ever
thing."
been seriously injured at all doing any of your
Oh,
stunts?
I mean, I've caught fire on many occasions.
Groovy. All right, so today on Sunken Press, we have a fun guest. We have Mr. Tom Nealeigh, or do you have other names? Do you have
I
aliases?
have lots of other aliases. I was looking for the fun guest and I didn't see him. And I heard one of my names. I was like, "Uh-oh." Now the pressure's on.
What's your favorite alias?
I've been performing as the Reverend Tommy Gunn since the early 1990s.
All right, what do you perform?
Well, when I used to be in a band, I was the singer, and then that was a long time ago.
What kind of band, though?
Like a
You strike me as a ska guy. Am I wrong?
you are not wrong.
Oh, fucking nailed it.
Yeah, but I wasn't really good. I don't think any of the bands I did were ska. I mean, I've been a ska fan.
Okay.
And I was in Southern California, in Orange County, during the big rise of Real Big Fish, and No Doubt, the big second wave stuff. So that was, I think that's the second wave.
Yes.
I don't know.
Or is it third wave?
It's probably third wave, because first wave was Jamaican ska, second wave was
like
British
Specials.
ska, the Specials and that stuff, and then I think your third wave, the Golden Summer of ska,
Real Big Fish,
Mighty Boss Tones, yeah, and there's still a few. There's some of them are still out performing, and there's still a few new ones. So anyway, I lead sang for bands, and then years later, would actually start and found FreakShow Deluxe, which has since become Hollywood's own and only carnival-style sideshow.
Tell me more about FreakShow Deluxe, because pretend like we've never met and you've never told me a damn thing about it.
Let me give you the elevator pitch. The FreakShow Deluxe is all the classic Carney sideshow acts with hardly any of that classic Carney sideshow smell.
There's got to be a little bit, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't sound the same without the stench.
It's not the same. It's a much different stench coming off of us. But
it's a boutique stench.
It's a boutique stench. Because I founded it. I was running a theater, an outdoor drama in Ohio, and I had been an actor there for several years, went to grad school. Now I'm running it. And we had a haunted attraction. It was a huge fundraiser every year. It's a big outdoor attraction. And I'd taken over, when I came in, I'm like, all right, I'll handle the advertising this year. Boom, boom, boom. Let's do this. And it was immediately after 9/11.
Okay.
So I had started in the office from being an actor, stuff, finished grad school, had run some other theaters. Now was in this place that I already knew. September 11th, first day at work, and waiting for my predecessor in the position to return from New York to train me in what was happening. And then we saw the planes hit the tower. And then we're like, oh, man. And initially couldn't believe it was happening. And then it was. And then worry about our friends in New York, which AOL Messenger was how we reached them. No calls could get through or anything, but AOL Messenger, like, I didn't get to the airport. I'm home. I'm fine. Wife was fine. Everything's good.
Cool.
Like, okay. So then but then the discussion very quickly turned to, we're supposed to open this haunted attraction in a couple weeks. Like, after all this horrible stuff that we've seen on television, and all was broadcast live and all this stuff, like, do people really want hillbillies chasing them through the woods with chainsaws? And my answer was yes, because escapism. You called it exactly. People are going to need entertainment. They're going to want to be able to escape, because it's hillbillies chasing you through the woods with a chainsaw, but they want you to run. They don't want to hurt. They don't really want to hurt you. They just want to scare you a little bit and help you have a good time. So the numbers that year were through the roof.
Of course.
People were buying tickets, having to stand for 2 hours in line after buying tickets to get in. And I were like, they're going to riot. And the numbers are super high. So I started doing a few things to entertain people in line. And then another guy there was like, well, I know how to do a couple sideshow stunts. I'm like, well, you're with me. And so we ended up, as part of a bigger show, like entertaining everybody very informally, but that was the start. And then the next year we had our own space as a separate ticketed event. And then by that point, I had cut some deals and we were doubling the income of that haunt every year. So it was doubled every year for the next few years. And I'd cut a deal with the local Clear Channel radio, because it was Clear Channel. Then they had used to run their own haunt, but they lost money every year because they had to lease a space. Then in the off time, they had to lease a space to store their stuff. And we're like, hey, we got all of this space and all this stuff. We'll do, how do you feel about a revenue share? They were like, cool, but we want this freak show thing to send to concerts and stuff to push it all year round.
Oh.
And we were like, free concerts? Sure,
That's
we'd love
an even
to.
better deal. So what kind of concerts were you freak showing?
We were freak showing at like big like concert festival events. Like if they're, like Jim Rose did for Lollapalooza. We had our own stage in between things, and we would, in between shows or whatever, do stuff. They'd pull us up on main stage to do stuff sometimes. So it was pretty great. It worked out really well. So that was in, 2001, 2002, we're doing this. And then, this was in Midwestern Ohio. I should mention, not in Southern California, because I had been
Two different vibes.
I had moved a bunch of places. Things were all different. Well, then I wanted to return to Hollywood, so we made the arrangements to return to Hollywood. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna kick this out there. I can't think anybody. We'll fit in. We'll meet people and stuff. There were no other sideshow groups in Hollywood at all. There were individual performers who did stuff, but no cohesive group. So we put together a group and opened a theater, and it took off, and then that theater in that year was the first year of, we had it in Theater Row in Hollywood, specializing in variety art. So it was, vaudeville, burlesque, sideshow, magic. So a lot of people getting ready for shows at the Magic Castle, for example, performed there, would run their shows for audiences there. We'd let all these different people come in and try things. Sometimes we weren't sure how it would go, but we met some amazing performers, and then started getting calls to tour, and it didn't make any sense to keep the theater. I was not at a point I could keep the theater open and tour and do this, but we built a core company then. The couple guys who'd been with me in Ohio had come out initially and then gone back to Ohio, and so then we sort of made arrangements with everybody. We had a great core group in LA, and we did so. The first year that our theater was open was also the first year of America's Got Talent.
Okay.
At about somewhere between about a third of the shows who were on that show had performed at our theater in the previous 6 months. Like that's how they came to it. Yeah. So then they were calling us like, hey, new season's coming up, for that a bunch of years after. Hey, a new season's come up. Do you have anything you want to send our way? And then and we were like, not really, for the most part. I mean, if somebody wants to, we'd be like, hey, they're doing a thing, go and do it. But it's a game show. Right. It's a competition show. So there's not like pay. And it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to win for a variety of reasons. But when the kids were old enough, the TV came in interest to see, because everyone loves seeing little kids doing dangerous stunts, I guess. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So we did that, and then eventually we did America's Got Talent, and then we went to Germany and did a show there, in Australia, and did Little Big Shots there, because we did Steve Harvey's Little Big Shots in America.
So you've met Steve Harvey.
Very briefly. Surprisingly, our act did not hurt him, but the act they filmed immediately before us almost did. They
almost got him?
Almost got him. It was like they were waiting for a chemical reaction to happen. They're making like elephant toothpaste. You ever see that? Where just foam shoots out everywhere. Yeah. And he, looking over the top, he didn't know what was going to happen, because they were looking over the top of the barrel when it shot off, blew the helmet he was wearing off, the eye protection, all that stuff. He was pretty mad. He was pretty mad for that kind of wrecked. And then, the kids were, Grennan was 7 or 8, and Charlotte was like 2 years, 2 years, like 6, throwing knives, and he was not amused by that at all.
Were they
by that
throwing
at all.
At Steve
well,
Harvey?
That was part of the joke, as they were going to, like, they threw, around targets and stuff, and then they were going to throw around Steve Harvey. He was not having it. So, but they had a life size.
I can just imagine Steve Harvey being like,
no.
And
then my daughter's like,
bunch
come
of
on,
white
because they were
kids
like
throwing knives at me.
I'm not putting up with this. I don't get paid enough for that. Yes, that was exactly how he felt, I think. And I mean, he was still good humor and he was good with the kids. The Little Big Shots, the one in Australia was. It was about the kids. The one in the United States, it's about Steve Harvey. It's about laughing at Steve Harvey getting almost killed by all these acts. I mean, it's really kind of sad. But the Australia one was really, that guy was great. He was a great comedian, and he was like, oh, this is all about the kids, about the kids doing stuff. So, and then they've met a variety of, we've met a variety of people at these different things, and we see some on TV, and some have gotten older, and the kids, social media can chat with everyone every once in a while.
Yeah.
There was the time, I have pictures. We did, I can't remember which thing, and they're like, here, shoot a video, like put together a pre-show video. And we had, and I can't remember who they were talking to, like, oh yeah, we were hanging out backstage with Wu-Tang Clan at a show, and then it cut to the picture of the two of them with members of Wu-Tang. We're like, I don't know what's happening here. I got my son, he's 7 or 8, no shirt, just a vest and like a cigar in his mouth and a hat. like what is happening in that picture? What were you guys doing?
Showbiz.
Yeah, there's your show. They got pictures of them like we had, because we would do shows in bars, places that had bars at least, like a lot. And I've got pictures of the kids, not even teenagers, looking like they're at Studio 54 in New York City, like leaning at the bar, and the bartenders were like, what are you guys doing? What is
I wish you were my dad.
happening?
That would be so cool.
Well, apparently, I'm trying to think how much is too much. So you tell me if it's too much.
Oh, no,
We
no,
just talked
apparently
about crack a
the
bunch.
kids.
Yeah, we talked about how
Yeah,
much.
like-
well,
Nichols
okay,
smoked.
well,
Go out there.
I can tell more about this story later, but weed is pretty new to me, and and the dispensary is right down the street from our house.
Uh-huh.
Now it was in every place we lived, where it's been legal, because I've only partaken since it was legal, and the kids are very much like, high dad is much more fun than drunk dad. Drunk dad is fun, but drunk dad is aggressive. Drunk dad's like, we don't need the rules. We don't need any rules. Let's go, burn stuff down.
I had that with my mom, where Stone Mom, fantastic. We'd be watching Nick Jr.
Oh, yeah.
She'd be high as shit. Drunk mom, though, stealing cars, being insane, doing hit
Parrington Will
runs.
High is just funner. I guess that sounds bad, but like I feel you get on your kid's level a little more. I think when you get a little high.
I'm much more easygoing and much more relaxed, and just like, let's just chill, and like, you want to watch something? Let's watch something cool. We should do this. Not, drunk dad wants to go on adventures.
Drunk dad fell down the backyard
Drunk
again.
dad has no pants on and bothering the neighbors.
But this brings me to my question. With all these talks about being drunk and stoned, Alton's two favorite pastimes, what brought you to Alton? Was it the weed? Was it the booze?
No, plenty of weeds. We were living, because we were in Southern California for a while.
Uh-huh.
I mean, lived in a lot of places. We were in Southern California. That's where both kids were born. My son was born in East LA, and then my daughter in Hollywood. And then we moved to, or I should say back to, because FreakShow started near Dayton, Ohio. That's where we had done all this stuff. So my partner's parents were sick, and we're like, oh, this might be the end. So we went back to Ohio. It was like, we got to be there,
Right.
And then they didn't die, and then they didn't die. So we were there for, it was, that's fine. It was nice, but we got there and they kind of kick-started them back into, the grandkids and all that kind of thing.
Right.
But I don't know if you know, but there's 4 places to celebrate St. Patrick's Day in the United States. The 4 best places, there's New York, Boston, Chicago, and Dayton, Ohio, at the University of Dayton.
Really?
The University of Dayton is a Catholic college there, and they party. Like, there's some bars, I think, around there that are only open for St. Patrick's Day, because it's like a 48-hour mayhem.
What?
And by the end of it, and Ohio's colleges have a tendency to block the roads with burning couches and not let anybody. Ohio's the Ohio State, and then UD is another one. Basketball games, that stuff, and of course they're real gentle with them, because they're all really pasty white
Privileged
kids.
white
All
kids,
privileged
yeah.
white kids, yeah. But I mean, the St. Patrick's Day party is still epic. You can go.
I deal with some privileged white kids for a good party.
Yeah, sure. You know, yeah. I mean, but they did burn. I think they burned down some of the campus housing today because they were throwing flaming rolls of toilet paper into the campus housing because they bought all the blocks around it and converted them took the homes there and converted them into campus housing for students. So they could keep a better eye on them than just letting them rent from locals like nearby. So they control all that area. Well, that means, sure, it's easier for the cops to like herd them into spaces, but also
Joint parties.
Yes, there is no one party on the block at a time.
So they're
It
throwing
is
flaming toilet paper
flaming rolls of toilet paper.
Oh, they're all ATF agents now playing Waco.
If I thought they knew what that was, I would laugh.
If those kids could read, they
Those
would
kids
love
could
that.
read. Shh.
So the St. Patrick's Day party brought you to Alton?
No, it was so we were used to drinking, heavily used to drinking,
Of course.
and then
Everyone in Ohio is.
weed in Ohio became legal a number of years ago. Is it medical still? I can't
I
remember.
don't know. It's been a while.
It was
since
it
I've
was
been
medical for a while, and then for like quite a while, and then it became you could then
Recreational.
became recreational after all the rich people had clamped it down.
Yes, just
real
like
big.
Illinois, the rich people clamp it down.
Well, and I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but Oklahoma when they
No,
passed.
we like talk bad.
yeah, you can talk shit.
Oh, when Oklahoma had legalized everywhere, you couldn't throw a rock without hitting another. If you
Yep.
stood on a corner in front of one dispensary and looked down at the next corner, there was another dispensary.
Yep.
Tons and tons. And because it's Oklahoma, so it was the Wild West, which was kind of a good thing about it. But what happened then? So I had friends, for example, who opened a dispensary next to their tattoo shop, and it was doing real well. And then they were growing, and then I hear the Russians started coming in and overpaying for properties and taking over grow operations, and then all the mom and pop weed stores started burning down.
Oh, wow.
So that happened. I'm not going to say that was widespread or blaming
It was
any
like the mob,
particular.
though? Like mob stuff?
Yeah, like mob stuff.
There's a lot of interesting Russian nationals who own interests in a lot of different weed stuff. and
Yes.
that's a conspiracy rabbit hole we
I
could
didn't
go
even
down
know
sometime.
that.
I mean, it's easy to go down for sure.
Yeah,
When we had the theater in Hollywood, I mean, my biggest concern, I wasn't that concerned, but I mean, I did have a concern that we would do well enough that I would have the local mob of Russians or Scientologists, but mostly Russians was the worry, would come in and like want a piece of, like, I'd be ashamed if your theater burned down.
yeah,
Sure would.
yeah.
Ivan.
Large cities and organized crime are
Organized crime fascinates me, though. I don't know. Like, I think I would make a amazing mafia wife. Like, I'm just saying. Like, it
Well,
would be.
that's
I'd
certainly.
still-
I mean, that's certainly better. Understand. I don't know how much the kids are gonna be mad about me talking to them, but my partner is her mom was directly from Colombia, came from Colombia, lived here for a lot of years before getting had a green card before getting her citizenship. We've talked a number of times about going to visit family in Colombia, which I'm like, that sounds awesome. Like we should totally do that.
Pagoda has some
But
of the best coffee ever.
But we're concerned my daughter will end up taking over a cartel. And it's in a way she might downplay it, but she knows. She's really into serial killers. That was how we found out at the family gathering how many of the women in the family are really into
I
serial
like
killers.
her. I like her already.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. She's the best. She's the best. I mean, she's
I've seen
somebody.
her play at the farmers market.
Yeah, she's going to play at the farmers market in September.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then FreakShow Deluxe will perform in July.
Where?
We're at the farmers market.
Okay, love that.
I'm going to bring the stage, and I mean, we did last time. We set up the whole stage and stuff, and we'll do the same again. And
So Alton.
So we ended up. So
you
why did we
get
come to Alton?
here?
Thank you for keeping me on track.
It's okay. No, your stories are so
The
fascinating.
day, because now I'm old, and that's all I got. Just stories upon stories upon stories. So, the day the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, my partner called me and was like, we have to, because we were in Ohio, and Ohio had a bunch of trigger laws on the books. We're like, we got to go. We got a teenage daughter. We can't we can't risk
Yeah, you gotta live
this
in a pro-choice
malarkey.
state.
Exactly. So we had wanted to move to New Orleans for a long time, but
Love New
I had
Orleans.
lived. Oh, I know you do, and it's great, and it's phenomenal. But the biggest problem with New Orleans is in Louisiana, which means it falls under their laws, even though they ignore most of them, which is great. Because I went to grad school in northern Louisiana, which is a very different experience
Very
than
conservative.
southern Louisiana. So Roe v. Wade was overturned, so we were like, how far south can we get? Because we really don't like winter. And we're like, all the South was out. Because we were like, we want not just a blue state, but one that's going to stay that way for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois is one of the California, obviously, and we liked California, but and there's so many people living there and it's so expensive. So it ended up being Southern Illinois, and then we narrowed it down, and we had a friend that we worked for some of the clubs he managed in Sauget.
Okay. That's a town.
That's a town. Yeah, it
It used
is.
to be called Monsanto, actually.
Did it really?
Yeah, Monsanto owned it to be able to control civic laws.
That makes perfect sense.
It's also a Superfund site, which is a very big environmental problem.
Yeah, that is big. But anyway, he put us in touch with a realtor, his wife, who was a realtor, and we said, we're looking for this. She gave us a bunch of places. We had been looking online in several cities we were looking for like a Victorian house and
Alton.
yeah, but a couple places we looked at, she was like, you don't want to go there. This town, this upcoming thing is leaving. This factory is closing. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. So we looked at several places, and then she showed us the house in Alton. We looked at several in Alton, and then the one we really liked. So the day before the paper was supposed to sign, Alice was like, I better go there and actually physically see the place, see what it's like. Because I had been working the whole month in Oklahoma. She had said she got out there and walked out on the back deck, and we had this beautiful view of the Mississippi, and you could see St. Louis in the distance on a cloudy day.
Really?
Like, it's really great.
Hell yeah.
And then,
Party at your house?
oh yeah, I mean, seriously. And we're right across from a cemetery, so quiet neighbors for the most part. And it's, and it was really great, and we really like the town. It's a small town. It's a little bigger actually than some of the small towns like where I grew up or where I lived before in other states, but not by too much. And having not, the kind of the plus of small towns, because small towns are great. Every John Cougar Mellencamp song about a small town is true. But the for you, who's been here a while,
Too long.
that you know all the players and you know where all the bodies are buried and you know all this stuff, which is a good thing, which is a good thing. But for me, who's come in, who've been like, okay, I can compare this to all the other things I've seen and be like, oh yeah, I know what's actually happening here. I know what's actually happening here. But I'm like, my vested interest, like, I can be friends with everybody and, I can like, my hope is to maybe bring some people together from different things who are not necessarily people who are getting along, but to be like, we should totally do I'm going to do this thing, and then this other person's going to be there, and I'm going to take the opportunity to actually introduce people together and
Building community.
do stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, one thing I do know about Alton is if you put 3 people in a room who might hate each other and say, but it's for the good of Alton, those 3 people will probably work together to create something great.
Yeah.
Like for
I've
Alton,
done that firsthand.
Yeah, me too.
I know you.
there
have.
you go. Yeah.
the amount of times I've been like, I'm gonna swallow my fucking pride, and we're gonna do it for Alton, and then I do it for Alton, and it gets done. I mean,
and it is, and we really feel that when right after we had moved here, so it was bought the house in October, November we're here. We got finally like all the trucks of stuff were here by like Thanksgiving. A little before. Well, then remember that huge cold snap and froze and burst the pipes in the
year was
house.
this again?
Oh, I don't know. What year did that happen?
I don't know how long you've been
So
here.
only less than 3 years.
Oh, okay, so it's recent. Okay.
Yeah, so recent, the last 3 years, and the cold snap happened, and it burst a bunch of pipes in the house. Luckily, not in the walls or anything for us, but we had already met with this great plumber. We'd had checked the place out, so he came and shut off the water and stuff for us. But we had no water over Christmas. But like the people at the grocery store were like, well, I got, if you want to come to my house and take showers or whatever, you can totally.
Yep.
Like, that is so great. Like, we had just met people when we went to our first city meeting, not city council, but the What's Up Downtown
Yeah.
meeting, and
Those are cool.
got up and they were doing the round, passing the mic around, just speaking about stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'll just. Hi, we're new. We've only been here like, a couple of months. And then that was like Sarah McKibney was like, this is great. I want to talk to you more. And since we're talking Alton stuff. Are we talking Alton stuff?
We are talking Alton stuff. Sarah McGibney is somebody that we want to get on here.
She's so busy, but she's so great.
Yeah. We'll talk about that
yes,
later.
we're going to talk about that later.
Yes.
And of course, she's introduced us to a ton. And even that very day, when we were talking to getting, introduced people, like she met here was like, oh, you need to meet Mike Weller.
And he owns a lot of stuff downtown.
Yes, he does. And so we met Mike Weller and hit it off really well. And
yeah, he's done a lot of good work downtown, like refurbishing old buildings.
Did you know this past week that and I've forgotten the name of it, so now I'm a jerk, but it's in the Poor Decisions, the new food restaurant that's in there.
I've heard about it.
I didn't know they had a restaurant in there.
I forgot the name of it too, but I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, but she had to leave town for her son is graduating boot camp. So Mike and some of the other guys who I know from the cigar shop, which is next door to it, have been cooking all the food and taking the orders and like in there cooking for her because she couldn't be there. So they're like, we're going to keep you open.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom. I mean, I'm like, how awesome is that?
It's Alton, man. The sense of community here is
it is really
outstanding. That's coming up soon.
Anything you
have
like.
A favorite act, like one, or a favorite. I guess, is it trick? Is it what? I don't know what the term is.
Trick technically isn't the word because
it's like more of like
it's not an illusion.
Yes,
everything that happens for sideshow, everything that happens is real.
Do you have a favorite performance that you do yourself?
The Blockhead one is the one I've been doing the most. I'll show it to you here shortly and get you
after the break,
the full experience. But Blockhead is always gone over, and my particular take on it has gone over very well. The fire eating and fire breathing has been because everybody loves fire.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of those things of like everybody loves that. So that is always a crowd pleaser. But I have several acts of skill I could. So FreakShow Deluxe, I don't know if it's on the new website, but we had offered basically 42 different acts that could conceivably done in any show. So if you were hiring us to come do a show or do an event, if there was a specific act you wanted to see, we could make that happen. And I can do almost every single one of those acts.
What ones can't you do?
I hate sword swallowing.
Okay.
I greatly dislike it. It's terrible for everybody. It's just like, oh, sword swallowing's easy. Like, shut up. But I've known great sword swallowers, so it's hard to like kind of compete with that. And then the Bangkok blowgun is not I'm not.
Pardon me, but what?
That definitely sounds like.
You know how you ever say the big
dictionary.
thing about Bangkok, Thailand, and the bars there and stuff with the ping pong act?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard of that. Like, at least it's effectively that. But we had a performer for a long while who used a blowgun and would pop balloons, like shoot a balloon from across the stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I can't do that. Though I did participate in that act because they would put a balloon on me and then she would shoot the balloon and pop and leave the dart stuck in me afterwards, which was hilarity for all involved. So they're acts, they're stunts because you're doing a stunt, but the stunt isn't the whole thing.
Yeah.
When somebody calls and they're like, I'm having a party and I want a bunch of midgets and I want and I want somebody with a snake and I want someone to stand in the corner and swallow swords for 3 hours. Like, first of all, none of that is interesting. Mm-hmm. Your guests, please believe me when I say your guests really don't want a bunch of midgets unless they're there doing something cool, but nobody just
like wrestling or something.
Just wants them hanging around.
I've been to one of those restaurants.
They're awesome.
So bad.
I've had some. Oh yeah.
I didn't make it to the sports tab one that night.
I made it to one at KC Hall one time, and it was I wanted to say it was exploitative, but then I talked to them and they're like, no, we love this shit. We want to do this instead of a day job. This is fucking amazing.
And the one where like there's several one that I've known who are run by, athletes who are little people. Because midget is the
antiquated performance.
The antiquated performance.
They took it back though. I feel like.
Well,
yeah,
and some have, but I mean, for the most part, when I refer as like it's little people, I don't dwarves and midgets and stuff like that. Know your crowd. It's like dropping the N-word. I mean, it can be, except I just said it without.
Right.
So there's
the
your
complicated.
There's your problem.
But
that it's not the same. But if out of respect for your friends, you wouldn't say that kind of thing. And but some of my friends who don't like the term little person.
Really?
They prefer their name or something. They don't like to be referred to as that thing. But also they don't want to, because somebody's always like, I'm having a party. I need like 6 Oompa Loompas like running around. And I'm like, that's exploit. That's exploitive. But meanwhile, this live action Snow White can't use real little people for the thing. Suck it. Willow managed to use, and that's a
Willow's
Disney film.
One of the greatest films of all time.
It is.
Entertainment these days, I think it's because we've just like ran a kakistocracy where the shit rises to the top in almost every conceivable field, and then we all have to deal with somebody else's idea of marketing. And
correct.
Humans can't be humans anymore.
It's such, the business aspect is such a business, and it's being run by people with no real understanding of the artistic process. So they're just looking at profit, and they're just looking at, is this going to make money?
One last question before the break. How do you balance performance and business? Like what we were just talking about. Do you have to have like 2 different
Do you have an accountant or do you do it yourself?
I used to. I have worked as an accountant before.
Oh.
So there's a difference. Like I have worked in
you have a background
business. I have some business background, but also entertainment background because I've been performing from the age of 5. And there are like pitfalls and stuff I would not into, but I worked as an accountant for a living. I worked for a entertainment law firm for a time after getting my, master's in theater and stuff now. And I found myself working for this law firm, which was great. There was an eye-opening. Here's how the entertainment business runs for sure. And so that's how, all of that fits in. So a lot of times I get into conversations with people who are just performers. Hollywood is a tough place, and it's a tough place for any performer to cut their teeth because the machinations and the machine of Hollywood and Los Angeles depends so much on all these people coming to town for the entertainment industry who want to be actors who are not. They've never been so much as, kumquat in their school play. And now they're here being like, they tell me I should be a leading man. You're like, no, but this restaurant needs a guy, or we need production assistants on this, or we need this or this. It depends on that. If these people aren't constantly coming into the machine and getting spit back out, everything would grind to a halt. And what's the big thing? Because most of these people coming in do not have the experience to do the jobs. The other thing is, when you talk about rising to top, there are a lot of people who are able to do things because they have the money to wait out the hard times while they're making their way in, because it's a lot of hard times.
Well, and people don't realize that when you want to be like any kind of performer, I did comedy for a little bit, and there was so much, you have to brand yourself.
Yes.
You have to put so much work, especially nowadays in social media wise, and putting your content out there. It is fucking exhausting.
It is, and it's not fair.
lot.
And it's not fair to the performers that, like, not only are you supposed to be your own lawyer and your own accountant, you're supposed to know all this stuff. You've got to do all your content creation, and you've got to do this. And when they're like, "Well, you should hire someone to do it," hire them with what?
What? Yeah.
I'm not in a thing to do that. And then putting out the constant media content, which when we started we did not have. Yeah, there wasn't. I had a cell phone. There wasn't like a lot of social media and stuff.
Well, now they have stuff like CapCut that makes it really user friendly
Right.
to put together.
Yes.
Things like that. Over the years, I feel like it's evolved to make it easier.
But there's all this stuff you got to worry about, and stuff that comes back on you, and we could talk. I mean, at some point, I mean, there's so many different aspects. Whether you're talking about the history of sideshow, where you're talking about the golden age of sideshow, the silver age that lasted up through through the 1970s before sideshow really went by the wayside for a variety of reasons. But a big part of it was no longer marketing freaks, no longer being able or choosing to exploit people, and the fact that medicine got better, so you did not have as many natural born anomalies. Thank you, that was the word.
Yep.
Yeah, for natural borns to be here. So the ones who are now have like embraced it and chosen. But even then, like the glory days of General Tom Thumb and stuff are over. Mm-hmm. No one's paying that kind of money to do that kind of stuff, and people who were, because there's also so much more entertainment out there.
Yeah.
It's not just, the circus is not, you're waiting all year for the circus to come to your town, watch the elephants bring the wagons through town and set up and do all that. Like, those days are long gone.
I don't know.
But those elephants went through.
No, they did. All the animals and even the people, like, had to deal with that.
Oh, yeah.
People
the amount of
have disabilities and stuff like that. They're
Right.
exploited for it. Like, there's a history in it, and it's not a great one, but for some reason, I just picture it to be like.
I mean, it's fascinating.
I can smell it. I can smell the arena and the idea. I just was like,
Smells like shit and straw.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
And trauma.
A lot of trauma, and cheap alcohol. Those are the big things.
Rut gutting the shit.
Oh.
On that, we got to take our break. We'll be right back, and whenever we come back, you're going to be doing a trick with Nicole as your assistant.
I'll do a stunt with Nicole as my assistant.
Heck
Not a trick, a stunt. There it is.
Stunt.
Okay.
We're gonna just call it stunt.
I'm not
from here on
offended
out.
anyway.
It's a stunt. It's a stunt.
Not at all.
If you have thoughts on this episode, comment. We want to hear from you. That's why we're doing this. Without you, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Hey, if you like what you heard, like and subscribe. That was normal. That was a normie one. That was such a normal take.
We're supposed to do that? Yeah. Anyway.
All right, we're back with Are You Reverend Tommy Gunn? Since we're about to do a trick.
Yes, I am about to do a stunt. Not just any. You're right, Reverend Tommy Gunn. You're minister of the macabre. You're parson of the phantasmagorical, the apostle of the appalling, the vicar of victimization, the pastor of the pastiche, object of your affections. I'm about to do an amazing and astounding stunt for you right here, right now. Learned from my extensive traveling through Asia, the Far East, and India. Studying with the sadhus, the fakirs, the mystics of those ancient and esoteric lands, learning their strange techniques, studying their ways, all so I can come here and do this for you.
We're so
What I have in my hand right here is a steel spike. Sharp on one end, dull on the other, like this conversation. Absolutely, positively real. So go ahead. So you're verifying that everything is real.
Yes,
Doesn't bend, doesn't twist, doesn't collapse. They're going to put your hands all over it too. Gross. All right. So I'm totally teasing. So I showed that to you, and I'm going to show you this hammer. This is a hardwood hammer. solid all the way through. Feel free to take a good look at that. Make sure it's the real deal.
That is wood. That is from a
Yeah,
tree.
like all the way through. No
That
mirrors,
came
no
from a
rubber,
tree.
no
That
trap
came from a
doors,
tree.
nothing like
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Nice. All right. This is the Blockhead Act. All right. And the Blockhead was made very famous by Melvin Burkhart, who has since passed beyond us now. We keep his memory alive every single time we do it. It's really very simple. I have I have the spike, this 8-inch long steel spike. I have a hammer right here. What I'm going to do is pound the nail directly into the center of my skull. All right. And remain unhurt. That is a key. That is a key phrase.
Okay.
Anyone can pound a spike in the center of their skull. It's remaining unhurt, which is what makes it an act.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, it's real short. It's a real
Yeah, I
short.
love this. This is right around Easter too.
Oh
so
yeah.
kind
Oh,
of
if I had two more, I'd
okay.
have a religion, right? Yeah. To be fair, I perform in front of a lot of Catholic priests, and I do that joke, and they think it's hilarious. Someone argue like, actually, maybe you need 3 more because
I
you
love
said
a
4.
priest with a sense
It's
of
the
humor.
discussion. We're the discussion of whether it was 3 or 4 nails. Like, man, all right, tough crowd. Okay. So if you look at it, I'll show you from the side. You can see the pointy end goes all the way back, and I'm giving it like a little bit of space. It goes back into the brain pan, so one wrong move, one mistake, the pointy end could go into my brain, damaging me irrevocably. Unless my parents were right all those years, there's really nothing there.
Well, this is just a lobotomy, right?
Yes, it is exactly like it. So you put it here. Let's see how well this goes. Ooh, let's see if it's even going to go in today. I don't know. Oh. Right? Don't make me start laughing. I'm shooting right out, put Corey's eye. Now, so it's in there right now. I'm mostly okay. I don't remember my childhood now, but I'm mostly okay. But then the
Ooh, I want
key
one of
is
those.
the
Same.
key is you're remaining
Give me that.
unhurt, and then of course everything that goes in must come back.
Out.
Yes.
That's the word. He forgot
Nothing gets by you. Yes. It has to come back out. So are you going to pull this out?
Do I
Yeah.
have to- am I
Anytime a
gonna-
gentleman asks you if you
Am
want
I
him
gonna-
to pull it out, the answer should usually be yes.
Yes,
But if
I
not,
mean, I'm gonna. Yeah.
call me. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead there. How was that? Pretty impressive, right?
it. Bet you won't put it in
Oh.
your mouth.
No, I thought it was some blood, but it is. It's not. It's not.
Let's
It's like
take a
comedy.
clean napkin and see what. Oh!
Oh shit!
Lord,
that
you know
was
what?
good.
If I wasn't a nurse, I would be totally grossed out by this. But I
Really?
people eat their own shit, so that
Also
definitely
true.
faze me.
But you were still. I mean,
It was I was
medical
surprised.
people
I
have
was
always
shocked.
been. They're always like, "That's not possible. You can't do that." I'm like, "Watch me stick my arm in this bear trap and not break it. Watch me like eat this fire."
So I
or
have to ask,
swallow
have you
this
ever
thing.
been seriously injured at all doing any of your
Oh,
stunts?
I mean, I've caught fire on many occasions.
Is it
Most.
fun?
Do you have insurance?
Oh yeah.
Like-
Oh yeah. I think I'm carrying like a $3 million liability
I was gonna
policy.
say, well, I mean, like just health insurance. Just,
Yeah, I got-
disability.
I got
maybe
some health insurance.
Short-term disability. Kind of.
On my very early days, I was on a bed of nails. I had 300-pound wrestlers stand on top of me on a bed of nails, and one of them fell. That was ouchy.
Oh.
Some of the other more invasive acts, like the human pincushions, where I stick skewers through various parts of me and don't bleed. Sometimes those have not gone very well. Usually afterward.
Would you recommend anyone trying these at
No,
home?
absolutely
okay,
not.
just like want to
Yeah,
put
no,
that out.
yeah,
Do not
business.
try these at home.
Go to your grandma's house. She'll let you do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on the YouTube backyard wrestling, like when
Oh,
all these
my
teenage
gosh.
boys were falling on nails at their grandma's house. Like, you're just like, yeah, look at
It's
this.
so true. And when people are like, "Well, I do that," I do that in my backyard wrestling thing, in the early days, and I was like, "Yeah." Like when people are like, "Oh, it's just like Jackass," I'm like, Jackass has ambulances
They have people
and
that
insurance
stand
crews
by.
and lawyers waiting for stuff to happen, and they film the one thing and they're done. I got 3 more shows to do today if I want to get paid. So,
Does it
I
ever,
am-
like wear out your orifices?
I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years now, and I'm
Yeah,
not
but
young.
before
I
you
wasn't
start
young
still
when
had
I
lube.
started. So it does. You get worn out. I mean, I don't, the biggest thing, and I've talked about it a number of other performers, you don't heal as much as as quickly as you used to. I could perform every weekend, for example, and do, big skewers and stuff through me, and they'd be pretty much healed up by the next weekend. So I'd be great. So it almost, it would almost be like starting over, I guess. But now I can't. It'll be a couple of weeks to recover from.
So do you plan on like doing this then? Do you have ever plans to retire? Or is
I didn't
what you
plan to
wanna
ever
do
start
for
doing this in
when
the first place.
Well, now that you are,
We'd
obviously it's something that brings you joy. You wouldn't do it.
It is
so.
true. I do love performing, but I just don't have any talent. I mean, I was a terrible.
That was pretty
I was a
talented.
terrible singer in bands. I was like, I can read crowds really well, and I
You
can do
didn't
stuff
even
like
gag
that.
when you licked your own snot, man. That's some talent.
I would like to switch to doing some other things. Now because over the years, I mean, I've written and acted and done all this kind of stuff, and I would like to concentrate on getting another theater open.
I know that
another
you
entertainment venue.
I heard
yes.
about you the first time when Corey had mentioned that you were trying to buy Ragin, and unfortunately,
Well,
they
when
sold that.
we moved from anyway, that is my retirement plan, quote unquote. I'd like to see FreakShow Deluxe as a business continue after I am no longer performing.
And you think your kids will
I
take that over? Or?
Maybe they're both in sort of I don't really. My daughter's much more worried about her singing career at the moment. She is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, she's great.
She put out a record when she was 13, I think, and she's 17 now. She's about to put out of all originals.
And you said she'll be playing at
and
the
she'll be
farmer's
playing
market?
at the farmers market in
Do you
September.
know the date yet? Or
Not
just
off the top of
September?
my head. I just know early September.
Right. Be on the lookout for his ass daughter.
Absolutely. And then FreakShow Deluxe will be performing there, and it'll probably just be myself and my partner. But the kids might come and join in. They're good. They're
seen
good
your
that way.
son escape a
Straight jacket and chains.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was before the Flotsam.
It's
kickoff.
yes, it was. That's right.
Interview
The
your
River
kids.
Circus.
I wanna
They're way
interview
more
your
interesting. My kids are way
kids.
more.
Well, and also like having their experience of growing up in that business would be amazing.
Oh yeah, no, we should have them on.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely,
No,
absolutely.
So this haunted theater.
So the idea. So when we moved, I really liked having the theater. It gave when FreakShow Deluxe had a theater in LA called the Empire Amusement Hall. And I really liked it. It was a sort of Victorian cabinet of curiosities in the lobby, and then this proscenium arch theater. One of the things we had in the lobby was like a taxidermied baby elephant that had been from Barnum and Bailey and owned by a mobster at one time. So we had like all kinds of stories. I mean, great.
That thing's seen some shit.
Plus other stuff. I mean, just super cool. Like there was nothing else like it, period, happening in LA at that time. So the idea that we were initially like, yeah, we'll do something in St. Louis. And then once we got here and we started looking around, because we really thought, my partner Alton and I thought we'd really spend a lot more time in St. Louis. This gets back to when I came to Alton. I joined the Independent Order of Odd Fellows. You ever hear that?
No.
That's right, you have not, because it's a secret society.
Whoa.
And then we were poking around at the cemetery, and I saw flags, and I was like,
What do y'all do? Do you just like get together and like what?
do secret stuff.
Do secret stuff?
Do secret stuff. I will be pitching the Oddfellows at a lot of upcoming like marketplace events.
Yeah, I low-key want to join.
Is it only fellas or can there be gals?
Oh no, there's guys. No, guys.
Okay. Is
people
it-
of everyone,
Is it just
all ages.
everyone? Well,
In fact, I greatly encourage everyone to join. I am, and there's various levels, and there are fezzes involved.
Is that what you're wearing now?
No, my fez right now is actually from the great and benevolent, regal and loyal super secret order of the FreakShow Deluxe, Mystic Temple of the Dedicated Knights, number 619-4, which is FreakShow Deluxe's fan club. It's technically a drinking club with a sideshow program.
You know what? It's way better than the fucking Shriners. What do they do?
Oh, yeah, what do they-
Help kids.
Help kids.
Help
Fuck
kids
that
and
shit.
stuff.
Motorcycles.
Shriners could
Hey,
take a.
how many
little-
parades would not be around if it wasn't for the Shriners and their little
That
cars
is
and little
true.
motorcycle
That is-
stuff? I mean,
They are keeping the parade
they are
industry.
keeping the
Cars.
parade industry going. And I've been to a couple Shriner circuses that I didn't hate.
I used to take my kids when they were younger to a lot of them. They were
Absolutely.
cute.
I mean, because they hire like actual circuses to come in and do the, do the thing. And I've known a bunch of people been hired, and they're like, great gig.
I love circuses are my jam though. Like cotton candy, popcorn, and watching a pretty bitch like twirl on
The thing. Like
it's
sequin, like a living disco ball, kind of sequin shining everywhere.
So Alton.
Oh, where are we
Haunted
at? Alton.
Yes.
So
no. I'm
and then
behind the desk.
And then we
now.
came to
Yes,
Alton
I
and we
know.
started
You gotta
looking.
keep on track.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we came to Alton and started really looking around and met people and stuff, and then saw some of the historic buildings downtown.
That are all owned by one guy.
No, actually, no. There were the ones that he owns, yes, but there
Oh.
were. In fact, before we moved, I had looked into some of the for the Grand Theater and some other stuff like that. So there was some, there was like, oh, this might be cool. So we looked around and then came up with a business plan, and the business plan is for a primarily tourist attraction. It's that idea, like it's great for everybody who's local who wants to come and do it, but it's more like a celebratory kind of thing. But to create a dinner theater, and then because of how many years FreakShow Deluxe been doing stuff and all the work in LA and New York and Hollywood and all this stuff, we know a surprisingly large amount of magicians, illusionists. In the past few years, there has been a burst of magic theaters opening. Places like comedy clubs were just opening everywhere. Now magic theaters are kind of a thing. And so there's a circuit, these guys, a couple of my friends will they'll tour, you'd be magician of the year for a thing. Well, you'll tour for a year and do a different dinner theater every week.
I love that.
And do the thing. Like the pay's not bad. You just carry your little suitcase of stuff because you're doing small venues for the most part. So we're looking at primarily magicians, but then we've also, because we don't want to do bands. There's nothing wrong with bands. Bands are great, but there's already enough music venues at Alton and enough places for bands to play.
Entirely.
And some of them are, of course, then I'm like, yeah, we're next to St. Louis, of course. Some are really good.
There are
Like
some amazing
Suspicious.
bands around here.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
Alton has a
It's lizard
really good music scene. Like we had a punk rock circuit that would go to different basements that had
My
touring
son
acts.
went to those and loved it. And when he showed us videos, we were like, I wish this had been a thing when I was a kid. When I was your age, I wish this had been a thing. This is awesome. And I can't make that come back by myself. But, I am down for supporting that stuff. I know.
Oh, Toki the cat has made an appearance.
So do you have a timeline or anything for open that
We
up,
want to
or
get out. We're trying to raise money right now. There is a business plan.
crowdfunding?
We are doing some crowdfunding. I just opened a Patreon. Alton's on a dinner theater. You can find the Facebook. You can find the social media.
And we're gonna put it
We're
in
not
the
on X.
description.
Yeah, we're
and
definitely
everything
gonna put-
too,
Absolutely.
Because
so,
I
yeah.
fully supported. I'm still
I
down
remember
to
you
throw
told me
down
that.
for it too.
I will talk to you at another time about cooking for it though, because that's my dream. Though
She's
Wow.
such a
I
good
love to
cook.
cook,
It's
and that
insane
would
how good
be
she
it.
is.
Even
Because
just if I
that's a
can
big-
just be one of the chefs that you have in
See,
there cooking
that's-
for people, and
see.
maybe rotating chefs.
I like it. That's a great. For those wondering, hey, whatever your name is, Reverend Monkey Shirt, if you, when you, are like, what do you know about running a dinner theater? Like, well, actually, quite a bit. We had a FreakShow Deluxe had a residency at the Beetle House, which is a Tim Burton themed dinner theater in LA. And you can still find videos of us performing at. So we've learned, and then FreakShow Deluxe used to do sideshow supper club dinner theater shows in LA.
See, I love
at Trader
that
Sam's.
stuff, but I feel like the food's always like.
Oh,
When I worked at Helium for a while, and their food sucked.
Oh, no,
like
our food
comedy
was-
clubs and stuff usually. tends,
Yes.
it's
Oh,
processed.
it's
out of
they're
the bag.
microwaving stuff
Yeah,
out of the bag.
yeah.
I've been backstage some comedy
Like-
clubs. They have nothing but a microwave.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
we would theme the shows and bring in live music. And so it was live music and burlesque and a thing. I think my favorite one was the Tax Me Deadly, because it was on April 15th. And it was like a film noir version of, with everybody doing beds and nails and fire breathing. And there was a villain and a hero and
So Alton doesn't Alton have rules against burlesque for some reason?
I have heard that.
Because we used to have some
Several
burlesque shows
times.
that
I
our
know.
producers actually helped put on,
actually
Missy
some
and Ryan.
wonderful burlesque producers who I have heard about and heard those shows were just phenomenal.
They were fun. I've been
And
to a few.
So we've been looking at venues through downtown. Some of them are too big, some are too small. What's going to have the most foot traffic? What's going to make the most money?
And you always parking is also like a
Parking is an
parking
issue.
about
Oh, and
downtown.
we've got a couple different. We've actually did a little study on that and got some of that. And the idea is that the Alton's Haunted Dinner Theater, which may not be what it ends up being called,
Yeah,
but that's
Right.
the
working
project,
title,
the working
working
title,
title.
Alton's Haunted Dinner
The
Theater,
theme.
will be, fingers crossed, it'll become the Magic Castle of the Midwest. And for what people who don't know, the Magic Castle is a private club for illusionists in Hollywood, California. When you go in, you have to say the secret word to enter to the owl, and then the bookcase slides aside, and and you go past all these
I love
things.
secret like speakeasy types of stuff. That's
It's
cool.
totally, you gotta, they have a dress code. I mean, they got a bunch of loaner jackets and ties for people, but
Alton definitely is the scene for that kind of
yeah.
shit too. Like we'd love that.
like some of the mentalists and stuff that I've seen who are genuinely
Do you hypnotize people?
unbelievable.
Can you hypnotize people?
Have, yes.
Can you get me
don't-
to stop smoking?
Mm.
I'm just trying to take advantage so I don't have to pay for it.
Oh,
That's what
I think-
that's right.
I think
I'm being frugal.
I'm pretty sure his version of hypnotizing you to quit smoking is putting a nail in the part of your
Yeah,
brain
doing
that wants
like-
the cigarette.
Now, and there's, I think, some big differences between, and we've done all the variations of all the stuff. Tattoo shows and stuff tend to embrace that more for their crowds.
Mhm.
People who are pierced and tattooed who are doing very fetishist flesh pulls and shibari
My
and
friend
that kind of
does
stuff.
the suspension
Mhm,
stuff.
and
the
suspension.
whole
Oh, yeah.
And seeing the pictures and the videos that her and her husband have done, it's really freaking cool though. But I could never. It looks painful. like
It is. Well, and it is for a reason. And then we can start getting into the conversation about, because the flesh pull is based off of, the rites, religious rites of various religions around the world. And then you got people who are just mostly white people, because that's who does that kind of thing. We're just like,
yeah.
I'm going to start doing this too. You can't tell me what to do. Like, there's reasons for, And then, so there's a difference between sort of that fetish stuff and then traditional sideshow, because we specialize in classic. And when I say classic traditional, I mean things that are, some might be a little edgy, but for the most part, it is family friendly.
Family
But
friendly.
to have
Okay.
performers, it's a big difference for me with no outward piercings or tattoos or anything. To eat a light bulb in front of a crowd has a much bigger effect, or to pound a nail in my nose or stick a skewer in one cheek and out the other and then wiggle it around and stuff, has a much bigger impact than someone
you're
who's
very
covered in
unsuspecting.
tattoos.
Like they're gonna
Yes.
think you're a Shriner, but then you're like, no, I'm better than a Shriner.
Yeah.
I'm be-
I don't know.
Like-
Am I better than a Shriner? I'm not so sure about
Just
that.
own it.
But
Just own it, man. Just own it.
I mean, I don't have, well, no, I have a little motorcycle, so maybe I am.
Ooh, so the line between good family fun and horny is like small.
Oh,
in the
it's tiny.
size?
It's tiny, and it's a risk. You never know sort of what goes over the edge, and it depends on your family. My kids have hung out backstage with Wu-Tang. They have performed at the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Oh yeah,
A number of
before
times.
the show, you said you showed your butthole.
Oh, so I mentioned this at the family gathering. I was not very popular. What were we talking about? I was talking about something with one of my cousins, of course, I haven't seen in years. And we were talking about like great bands that we'd seen. And I'm like, I got to see The Time, who I always wanted to see, but I saw them at the Gathering of the Juggalos. They were like the headliner one night. Are you familiar with the Gathering of the
Oh, yeah.
Juggalos?
No,
Okay.
Are you familiar with
I was-
Morris Day and the motherfucking Time
Morris
though?
Day and the Time, which
No,
goes for,
not really though.
well,
What?
I'll tell you who
Yeah, no.
was. You really Purple Rain, the movie Purple Rain.
Oh, okay.
The band, the band against
yes.
the kid.
Oh, wee, oh, wee, oh.
Okay,
I
yes.
know you won't.
So-
yeah.
I know.
all of-
yeah.
I think one or two may not be there, but I think they're back now. Like it's still the original band. Like
Uh-huh.
Jerome is still Jerome, still doing stuff. And but the guys from ICP, and it's a family run. Those guys are real straightforward business people. They are doing this because they love their fans. That's not happening.
ICP is actually not. They're good people.
Yeah, they're
They
wholesome.
really are wholesome.
Pretty sure
like-
Violent J's daughter's a furry, and he
Yes,
gets her
and
like
he.
a really cool.
And did you hear he had a furry outfit made, and it's with his clown makeup,
Uh huh.
but a furry, so he can go with her to
Yup.
to convention, because she was like really young too. No one should be going to those by themselves.
Right.
My daughter is first she thought she was a furry. Now she's a Therian, which is different, but also still involves fur and dressing up like an animal. And so, like, I love that a part about ICP.
That's kinda
They're so
awesome.
supportive of their kids.
Oh yeah, so supportive of their kids, and and I mean they've been rap musician stuff for years, so they've done some unsavory things, but
Oh, who hasn't?
I mean, what are you gonna do?
I mean,
So we took the kids. The kids performed on stage together. Some of the backstage guys taught them how
so
to shoot
cool.
Fago, the 2 liters of Fago.
Did you
and
guys
stuff like
get
that.
Fago sprayed on you? You gotta
Uh,
go with the culture when you're in.
well, got to spray Fago a bunch of times on
okay.
people. We did do a gig where we got with them, where we got sprayed a lot. And we could do a whole show on Gathering of the Juggalo stories. That I mean, seriously, that where we were just drenched by the end of it. It was like a concert thing. That hall was trashed afterwards. By the end
Okay,
of the
but
thing.
buttholes.
Yeah, we do
We
got
did a show.
We're
Yeah.
burying the lead here.
You're
It's a
burying the
butthole.
So we did it, and we've done shows where people are like to all the girls, like, show me your tits, and then they're like, show me your butthole first, and then they would, and be like, oh, okay, like there you go. So we were on stage for something, and they'd had some crap ass group on before us. It was just like a bunch of, this is rude, but kind of a bunch of chicks, most of whom were probably strippers. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But
We
they were
do
there
love
to do a
strippers.
show. Their show was garbage. Garbage
Do
show.
better.
Be better.
Be better.
Like, you didn't have to be this
Bad.
terrible. So I was kind of pissed about it. And then like crowds were doing something like if you guys aren't cool, I'm gonna show you my butthole. And then they were cool. I'm like, I'm showing it to you anyway. So I turned around, my pants were down because I'd done the lifto, I think, with my like I'd done like the Joe lifto back when it was Jim Rose would lift with his ears, his nipples, and then the piercings in his penis. So I had the same thing, but I can't do that for like children's shows and stuff.
No, that's a gathering of
Yeah,
That's
but
a
a gathering
charge.
of the juggler where they really want some shock and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I did that and then turned around and pulled my cheeks apart and everything.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
If I'd had 2 M's tattooed on my butt, it would have said mom. Then I could have flipped on my head and it could have said wow.
Did they love it? Did the Juggalos love it?
They were appalled.
What?
Oh, well, dude, I'm not there. Focused. I mean,
Like, there's a
well,
whole-
it's one thing to see somebody to like see a hot chick's butthole or some young kid. It's another to see like your dad's butthole.
I mean,
And I mean, I was old enough to be the dad of most of those kids there. So
They saw a little
Okay.
dad hole, dude.
some saw the dad hole and we're like, oh no.
Did you stay at the gathering? Did you pitch a tent?
Hell no.
What?
No way.
no,
I'm
juggalos
too old
do.
for I'm too old for this. So we go stay in a hotel
They
because
smell.
we have to do shows and we have to be, I mean some of the bands like roll out and they look like crap and they still like play their sets and leave, but we don't get the option to do that. Especially over multiple days. I just had to go in, do a show one time and go on. It's the realistic part of the part that was always a thing for like younger kids that I knew who were in bands and stuff like that of like, we're gonna party every night and stuff, and they're like, you
catches
look and
up with them after.
you look and sound like crap, like, and now you can't go on stage without drinking, and that's a problem because
You
you're
know all too much.
terrible.
The
Yeah,
good
we all know how
night's
that
sleep.
goes. But it is, and for when I meet younger people who are, there's always somebody who's like, I want to perform with you guys. I'm like, okay, great. What can you do? And they're like, I can do this. I'm like, well, I got video of me on a bed of nails in my grandma's backyard wrestling, and I'm like, great. Can you do that? How many times a day can you do that? For how many weeks at a time? Because I don't need to. I'm not paying you to come in and do one thing once.
Yeah.
So where can somebody watch these acts?
The FreakShow Deluxe
Uh-huh.
under our @ and through our social media there is a variety of videos on, including a promo video we just shot last year, which at one of the parks when I was working with Dakota, the bearded lady, like a genuine bearded lady, and myself and another performer, Mads, as well.
Do you have like a schedule of like tours?
It all just, I mean, I would say pay attention. Get on our social media, follow
Okay.
our Facebook. We post everything that we're doing. I know July 5th we got this. I'm doing for the first time, because I personally also do shows, usually under the FreakShow Deluxe banner, but for historical events. So George Washington's Mount Vernon. And then I'm doing a Ren Fair for the first time. And these shows are based, there's a Ren Fair
love it.
in June in southern Missouri. There's the Oddities and Curiosities Expos. We're doing several of those. I mean, pre-pandemic, I would have 5 shows out on the road simultaneously. that I would be and my partner would be running back and forth and somebody would be running this and that. You know, we'd have shows at 3 different amusement parks running at the
So
same
your
time.
partner, you guys have been together this whole time though, doing this together. That must,
So she and I have.
is there a trick that you guys use to?
I'm terrified of her.
I must meet her.
She's Colombian.
She's awesome.
She's awesome, and I am terrified of her.
That's the secret to a happy marriage.
It's not a bad
Be
thing.
terrified of
Be
your bitch.
terrified. Alice is super smart. She's really great. She's sort of like, I want to sort of, because for the Alton Haunted Dinner Theater, going back to that, because we want to get it open as soon as possible. We want to take advantage
see this thing
of the
so
tourist
bad.
traffic. Like I said, we've got several buildings in mind. We just need the funds because it's purchase a historical building in Alton. And that's where it's tough. It's got to be in the right area. You can't just set it up, you know, anywhere. It's got to be close to where people can get to it. And it can't be too big of a space because then we're never going to cover, you know, if it's too big, it's all just wasted space. The idea with this company, though, too, is that, you know, we'll hire a lawyer, we get somebody to run the bars, we get somebody to run the kitchens. I couldn't run it and do the booking and do the interpretive, immersive theater that it is. Because the Magic Castle and what the Alton Haunted Dinner Theater will be is an immersive environment where, you know, when you go to the Magic Castle, there is, for example, the one lounge, there's the piano with the ghost that plays the piano. And you can request songs and it'll just play with the keys going, you know, the song that you asked for. That is the kind of thing we very much are embracing and want to do. So it's not... one of my family had asked me this weekend, and they said, well, is this going to be like, there's a place called the Haunted Hamburger Stand, and they have a bunch of like movie posters, and they have, you know, a Jason Voorhees behind the door and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, none of that.
More like classic.
More like
kind of
classic stuff. Like you might find some classic
Yeah.
Universal stuff.
I think we
though.
should have more freak show people here.
I definitely
more
think
freak
so,
show
yeah.
deluxe folks.
Say as far as more FreakShow Deluxe folks, I mean, in the town of Alton, because we've talked to several people like, hey man, if we get this launch, so some of the team are like, we got this launch, like, I know you don't have anything better to do. Why don't you come here to Alton?
Yep.
Move here to Alton, rent a place or find a house pretty cheap.
Yeah, Alton's a good
It's a
place
good
to
place
live for.
to buy stuff, and you'll have really this opportunity. And that's the plus too of the Alton Works is that the fact. Let me put this in compared to other cities where I've lived. The fact that even one building in this giant project is complete is huge. Huge, because I've been in cities where, oh, we got this big project and nothing ever happens. That's way worse than being like, oh, this is happening. Oh, the next place they're going to start renting these next places out. They're going to start doing this. They're going to start doing this. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times the stuff that I like, it doesn't jive with what I'm trying to do. But there's other areas in town where I can do the thing that I want. And if this does, you know, and if the plan does work, which I certainly hope it does, and it does bring all these jobs and it does bring all this stuff to Alton, that is, will it change Alton? Yes, that might be tough for people to have Alton change. You know, it is, and because even though we are in a blue state, we are in a very conservative area.
Too
I think it
conservative.
would though bring people together though. 'Cause
Oh, I think
there's
so,
like,
too.
Like Republican normie kind of people that are probably definitely gonna want to
Like,
see
hey,
it.
I want to go to this, you know, they love to go to restaurants and love to go to things. One of the big selling points actually for Alton, when we looked at each city that we were initially looking at, we're like, oh, there's this bar called Bubby and Sissy's, and they have drag shows. And we were like,
Oh, yeah.
that's huge right off the bat. This town is open enough to that. Well, then.
Oh, we love drag shows. Alton is very queer positive.
Yes.
I dig
And I
that.
think
We're
and that's
racist as hell,
great.
though.
Very-
It's a weird dichotomy of there's having lived in a bunch of different places, there's like the racist, and then there's this for people who don't really realize they're racist, because when you say racist, they immediately think the Ku Klux Klan and you're burning crosses in front of churches and stuff like that. And they're like, that isn't how they feel. They don't feel that way about it. Like, they even have friends who are people of color, but they never think of them like that. Instead, through the how they've been brought up or how the area is, like, there's this outside terrible problem with people of color. These people don't know what it really is.
No.
They don't know what it really is, but they have this fear, this stoked fear of it. And I've been to towns that were sundown towns back in the day.
Yeah.
And it still shows. I mean, there are people of color living there now. It is this sort of thing, but it still shows through in what they do in the town, and that's a big thing to avoid. I know that that's frightening for some people, and especially conservative, because conservative is sort of a looking backward at when things were allegedly better, at least better for the person who was
they
looking
pretending
back.
that the past was a great place.
Right.
The government works against us
on the regular, and that's why. Ooh, let me get back to the mic for this. Yes, because the government works against the average person on the regular, and should, and it is then our job to stay on top of them and not let them do that.
Exactly, which is a full-time job of yelling at the elected officials.
And doing that, then it gets harder when you get older, and you're like, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm trying to protect people's rights, and I'm trying to do things because the opposition, and I'll say the other side, because it's not Democrat and Republican. It's good and evil. It's this and that.
It's fascist versus normal people.
Yeah, is that fascism is always going to keep working. It always has. There's always people with these long-term goals, and I mean, it's like, really, your long-term goal is eugenics and that kind of stuff. This other side, this more liberal side, which in American government there are no liberals or left.
No.
Like Bernie Sanders and AOC are centrists. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. I think we should create a far left, like really, and like here's what far left really is. Like take all the rich people's houses and give them to poor people.
Yeah, we wouldn't have homelessness.
We wouldn't do. Yeah, exactly.
We have universal health care, and you go far enough left, you even get your guns back.
Yes, you do,
and it's great.
It's awesome.
Under no pretext can you disarm the proletariat.
Yes, exactly. But that's where you get it. But it's like, well, yeah, I know the other side is working, but they don't want eugenics. They want everybody to get married and have fun and smoke weed and shoot guns. And that's all they want. They don't want to control women's bodies or do stuff like that. I'm sure there's always somebody.
There's somebody.
Yeah, there's weirdos. There's weirdos and everything.
Anyway,
think we have to wrap it up. My wife just called me.
Yes,
and that means it is time that we cut.
Okay.
So, honestly, I think as an Alton resident that too many of you like and follow, you should definitely try to fund this haunted Alton dinner theater. Because it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be one of the coolest things that's ever happened, and you should check out FreakShow Deluxe at any opportunity.
Any opportunity. We're always fun. And hang out with us and buy us drinks. And
yes.
No. And
buy lots of drinks. And look into the Oddfellows.
And look, you know what? The local chapter Oddfellows. The first Oddfellows chapter in the state of Illinois was founded here in Alton.
Hell yeah, it was. I mean, Alton, Illinois, we're world famous for so many fucked up reasons.
So many things, right?
We're the weirdest little town in the world. All right. With that, we'll bid you adieu. Don't forget, like, subscribe, click the bell notification, share with your friends, put this video on a flash drive, hide it in the woods, do whatever the fuck you want, but get it out there.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
All right.
Oh, God. Go.